Okay, so for a lot of hunters, January rolls around and, well, that's pretty much it for the season, right?
Yeah, gear gets packed away, guns cleaned. You start thinking about spring.
Exactly. But if you've got your own dedicated hunting lease, things are actually just getting started in a different way. What happens after the hunt can be just as interesting. Okay, let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, maybe uncovering some secrets about getting the most out of your hunting lease during the off-season.
Right.
The basic idea is, having that lease means the work and, frankly, the excitement. It keeps going way past the main hunting months. It's really a year-round thing if you want to do it right.
It is. And our guide for this deep dive is a really insightful article. It's called The Reveal Party, Part 5 of 5 of The Secrets to a Hunting Lease.
Okay.
It's by Sean Fabreck. Now, Sean, he was the COO for the American Hunting Lease Association, the AHLA, for, over 8 years. He's really seen as a thought leader on leases, liability, that whole area.
So he knows his stuff.
Oh, yeah. He speaks and writes a lot about private land access, protecting landowners, brings a ton of real-world experience.
Gotcha. So our mission here today is pretty straightforward then. We want to pull out the key takeaways from Sean's article that can help you, the listener, really maximize that lease all year, especially focusing on that time right after the season ends, say January, all the way through till next fall, turning that downtime into, well, prep time.
Exactly. Prime time for prep.
So Sean calls these months after the main season a reveal party for lease owners. Not downtime, but a time for discovery, finding out what's really going on for next fall.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because you start piecing together the story of your land.
And what's fascinating here is the first big activity he talks about that sort of kicks off this reveal party idea. It's inventory.
Inventory, like counting deer.
Sort of, yeah. Think about like a shop doing stock take, right? Counting what's on the shelves. For your lease, you're trying to figure out, okay, which bucks that I was after actually made it through the season, and maybe even more important, who's still living there, who's calling your lease home base.
Right. Seeing who's still on the team for next year.
That's it. This is your best shot at knowing who's going to be around.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But how do you actually do that inventory, especially in winter when maybe deer aren't moving as much or food's scarce?
Well, Sean has this great practical tip. You actually use that scarcity. Create what he calls a fast food drive-through.
A drive-through for deer.
Yeah. Basically, put out some well-placed bales of hay, maybe some bags of corn where natural food is low.
Okay.
Then get your trail camera set up over those spots. And here's the really crucial part. Stay out. Just stay away for a few weeks. Let them get comfortable.
So you don't spook them, let them pattern to the food.
Exactly. He says this hands-off approach for a while. That's really the best way to get a definitive look at who's sticking around, who you might see again come October. You'll get good, clear pictures.
Makes sense.
And hey, a little bonus. While you're checking cams or refreshing the bait later, you might just stumble across some shed antlers in those high traffic zones you created.
Oh, nice. An immediate reward for your efforts. That's clever.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Wow, okay, that inventory idea is smart. Putting out the welcome mat, basically, and seeing who shows up. So knowing who is there is step one. But what about figuring out how they're using the land?
Yeah.
Especially, the smarter older bucks.
Yeah.
That seems like it leads right into the next big off-season job, scouting.
Spot on. And we're not just talking about walking the obvious trails here. I mean, yeah, you see the main deer highways, those paths that are all trampled down.
The easy ones to spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the real gold, the sort of secret in off-season scouting, according to Sean, is finding the faint trails, the secondary ones.
Faint trails.
Yeah, sometimes they run kind of parallel to the main ones, maybe just like 20, 30 yards off into the thicker stuff.
20 or 30 yards, that's like nothing.
Yeah.
Why are those little hidden trails so important?
Well, because your older, more mature bucks, they often just won't use those wide-open main trails like the does and younger bucks do. They're just craftier, warier.
Ah, okay. They stick to the edges, the cover.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Sean talks about this potential aha moment, You're walking your lease in February maybe, and you suddenly realize, wow, that tree stand I sat in all last fall, it was just 30 yards away from this little hidden trail. I was so close, but in the wrong tree the whole time.
Oh, man. That would be frustrating, but also really useful information.
Totally. It's game-changing info. And for tools, he suggests simple stuff like using voice notes on your phone to mark spots, or a GPS app to pin locations you want to check out again later, maybe closer to the season.
Darn.
But really, the main thing is just getting out there. Comfortable boots, walk the property, look for those subtle signs, those little paths. You're reading the story the land tells when things are quiet.
Yeah, I like that. Just walking and observing, really learning the terrain and how the deer use it when there's less pressure. Okay, so we've got inventory, we've got that nuanced scouting. Let's shift gears a bit to something that's maybe less about finding deer and more about, well, keeping yourself safe. Tree stand safety.
Oh, absolutely critical. Non-negotiable, really.
Yeah, the article really hammers this home, doesn't it? It seems like such a basic thing, but maybe easily overlooked.
It is easily overlooked, unfortunately. Sean is really emphatic. Tree stands must come down every year. Don't leave them hanging out there.
Why is that so vital? I mean, they seem pretty sturdy.
Well, they seem sturdy, but think about what they endure for a whole year. Straps, cables. They're exposed to everything. Water, freezing ice in the winter, then baking heat in the summer, cold snaps, drought, humidity, rain, sun.
Wow, yeah, all that exposure must take a toll.
A huge toll. It weakens the materials, makes straps brittle, causes rust on cables and metal parts way faster than you'd think. You might not even see the damage easily. And that's not all. You've got squirrels, mice, all sorts of rodents chewing on those straps.
Right? I didn't even think about that.
Yep. And it's the same for your safety ropes, your lifelines. They are absolutely not designed for permanent outdoor exposure. They degrade too. They need to come down, get inspected, and stored properly, like in a dry place out of the sun.
So I can hear some folks thinking, I've left mine out for years, it's fine. What's the counter to that? How does Sean, or maybe this TSSA group he mentions, drive home just how serious this is?
Yeah, that it's been fine so far. Thinking is exactly the danger zone. The Tree Stand Safety Awareness Group, TSSA, they work hard to combat that complacency.
Okay.
Because look, when you climb into that stand next fall, maybe it's dark, maybe it's cold, you absolutely have to be confident that it's secure, 100%.
Makes sense.
And the only way to have that confidence, truly, is if you've pulled it down, checked it over yourself, and stored it right. Sean suggests, sometime in the spring or summer, lay them all out, look closely at every strap for fraying, check welds, look for rust, chew marks, anything that looks off.
So it's an active process.
Yes. And it's actually a great excuse to get together with your lease buddies. Go out for a day of scouting or shed hunting and make part of the plan pulling down all the stands. Make safety a team effort.
That's a good idea. Combine the tasks.
And this really raises an important question about not getting complacent with your own safety, The TSSA data is pretty sobering on this.
How so?
They find that in almost every single reported fall or injury from a stand, it was basically 100% preventable.
Wow, 100%.
If the hunter had been using a proper safety harness and a lifeline correctly every single time they climb, it's not about luck. It's about using the gear right every time and making sure that gear is in good shape, which means taking it down and checking it.
That really puts it in perspective. Okay, so bringing these pieces together then, the inventory, the detailed scouting, this crucial safety focus. So what does this all mean for the big picture? How does doing this off-season work change the whole hunting lease game?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, what it means is that these activities, they aren't just chores. They're fundamental. They're vital for actually being prepared and ultimately being successful.
Right.
They take that lease from just a place you hunt to a place you manage, understand, and enjoy much more deeply. Like the article says, when executed properly, the hunting lease works for everyone.
I like that. Works for everyone.
Yeah, and it taps into that whole idea of self-reliance that comes with having a lease, doesn't it? It's kind of up to you. You do the work, you do the prep, you hunt smart, you stay safe. The success is yours. And just as a related point, the source material also touches on hunting lease insurance, for the club or hunters and for the landowner. That's part of this whole responsible, comprehensive approach to making sure everyone's covered. It's all part of that year-round picture of managing the lease properly.
Right, covering all the bases, not just the hunting part. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up for you, our listener, Sean Ferbrachte's article, The Reveal Party, it really paints a clear picture. Your hunting lease doesn't go dormant in the off-season. It's actually prime time for some really crucial stuff. Inventory, finding out who's actually living on your land.
Yeah.
strategic scouting, especially looking for those hidden secondary trails the big boys use,
Crucial.
and, maybe most importantly, that relentless focus on tree stand safety. Taking them down, inspecting them, make sure you come home safe, all this stuff together, it really elevates the whole lease experience.
Absolutely. And maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. How could really embracing this off-season management, the scouting, the inventory, the safety checks, how could that change your whole relationship with hunting itself? Could it shift it from just being a seasonal thing you do to more of a year-round commitment, a deeper understanding of land, better preparation, and maybe, just maybe, a lot more success and satisfaction in the long run?
Something to think about for sure, a different level of connection. Okay, that's our deep dive for today. Remember, everyone, hunt safe.
Oh,